to 709 Meridian, an audio commentary podcast. My name's Andrew,
And this is D.
and we are finishing up our Michael J. Fox. I was going to say Michael Keaton, but no, Michael J. Fox season of mids, didn't happens, and whatever we're considering these
Loose ends,
loose end seasons.
odds
But
and ends.
we have the Frighteners this evening. So I don't know if we were talking on pod last week about doing the director's cut, but after some research, turns out that that is not streaming if you want to watch the Frighteners, which is odd, and perhaps we'll discuss during the episode the how streaming and the limitless versions of many films you would think would be available but are not. But Frighteners is 1996. It is Peter Jackson's first American movie. I believe the story is he made this instead of King Kong. He might have been waiting for the special effects to get better for King Kong or something. But
There was talk of it.
yeah, but this is Michael J. Fox as a ghost hunter, basically. This is pre Sixth Sense. This is pre any of your ghost movies that sort of started in the early 2000s and continue to this day. This was a precursor to all of it. It completely bombed, and that universe where this is, trilogy plus a legacy trilogy is a much better universe, which we will discuss. Co-starring Trini Alvarado, who was like a movie star in the early 80s, sort of, which we can discuss, and sort of a great supporting cast, including Jeffrey Combs as Jim Carrey as Jeffrey Combs. So, are you ready?
Yeah.
All right, let's kick it off. Starting in 3, 2, 1, play. So 96, I'm just trying to think. So Universal had, in terms of genre, they had Jurassic Park in 93. Jurassic Park 2 wasn't until 97. Did they have anything else? I also guess I forgot
That was
Casper, Time
95.
Cop. We can't forget Time Cop, 94. But yeah, I just saw Zemeckis executive produced this, so.
And this is an almost Burton-esque Peter Jackson.
Yeah. So Peter Jackson is now, of course, remembered as the Hobbit guy. But he got his start in sort of absurdist gore. Heavenly Creatures was sort of his legit breakthrough. That was in, I don't know, 93, 94.
This is D. Wallace in a really bad wig.
Yep. Well, oh no, this isn't the past.
Yeah, this is actually, yeah. It's the present.
I mean, to be nice to Dee Wallace, I don't think she wore anything but really bad wigs after 1985. Like,
yeah.
You see her in E.T. and you're like, really? Is that? Okay. So he made Bad Taste, which was about aliens coming to Earth to eat people. He made Dead Alive, which is the big gross out gore one. But it's like claymation gore, things like that. So very gory. I think there were zombies in that one too, but there's also a giant like flesh-eating rat. Um, Here we have Juliana McCarthy, I believe her name is, who I know from Dark Shadows, the revival. So this is filmed in New Zealand. It just happens to look very much like the Pacific Northwest.
Mm.
Peter Dobson, that's right, he plays her dead husband. John Aston, I think is a
Yeah, he's
corpse.
the ghost. He's one of the ghosts.
Yeah. So, um, who else are we gonna have? We're gonna have
Well,
this
Jake
was one of
Busey's our
yeah,
big bad.
this was Jake Busey as our big bad, like, and it was in the build up to Jake Busey. Like Jake Busey's agent convinced everybody
Shy
he was
McBride.
gonna happen. Chai McBride, Jim Fife, who also I think was in Dark
Yeah,
Shadows.
Dark Shadow.
Troy Evans will be familiar. Julianne McCarthy. Arlie Ermey's got a cameo. A really cheap cameo, but yeah, I mean, I don't feel did any franchises really start in 1995?
Eh, no. I keep thinking Mission Impossible came out in '95, but
But it was
it was
96.
'96. Yeah,
And Mission Impossible is a very strange franchise in that it got popular in like 2010. Like
yeah.
with
Whenever
the
like
fourth one.
four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Okay, here comes our hero, folks. The man himself, Mr. Michael J. Fox. And this
just
this movie really, yeah, had it been a hit, we could have got at least two more of these. He would have been willing to do it.
oh yeah. Two more of them. Um Christopher Lloyd's the Christopher Lloyd cameo at some point. Like
Mm-hmm.
your legacy trilogy could have been about his kid or something. Like,
And they could have produced a cartoon.
mm-hmm. So this is, but okay, so 96, we are 7 years after Ghostbusters 2, and it is pretty much the fork is in that franchise.
Yeah, nobody
So
was. It was like that period of time between like '85 and '91 where nobody was talking about Star Wars.
this is Peter Dobson. He plays a dipshit in a variety of
Yeah,
filmed entertainment. He's sort of like
Biff.
Biff, but also what's that guy's name? Ken Marino, a less funny Ken Marino.
Mm,
Um, God, they could have had Tom Wilson in one of them too.
yep,
I forgot about the Zemeckis connection.
yep.
Okay. Also, he's knocking over a fence, a la Doc Hollywood.
I used to
Which
watch his show.
Dobson?
Yeah,
What was his show?
Johnny Bago.
Oh,
It was in the Crime Time After Prime Time circle.
okay. Really?
Yeah, Johnny Bago, Night Heat. What else was it? Dark Justice.
Dark Justice was the motorcycle one, right?
Yeah, yeah, that was the one. I think they came on
Was
Friday nights.
Silk Stockings originally there?
Yeah, Still Stalkings was
Yeah.
part of it, and then the one with Shannon Tweed.
So Trini Alvarado
Oh
was
yeah,
like a Inguine in whatever that what
Ingenue.
ingenue, thank you. Um in like 80 to
Yeah,
82, like
she
real
was
early.
everywhere. If she wasn't in movies, she was in after school specials, and if ever there was something called Verge, she was it. But she ended up having this sort of really mid career.
Yeah, so Times Square was one of her big ones. That was 80. But she also did like, but I mean, she was like a teen tween. She started in her
Yeah, very
teens.
young.
Um, it's like she was one of the daughters in Mrs. Soulful, which was Diane Keaton goes to Australia for drama. Is she Australian or is she a New Zealander? No, she's an American actress.
Mhm.
Um, she was in the 94 Little
Little Women.
Women, which she
Yeah,
would have been older than the
yeah,
latest
older than
Little
actual.
Women cast was, which people commented on. Yes, she was 27. Okay, so like Frighteners actually was during her 90s comeback to some degree. But I mean, she tried a Bette Midler drama. She was in Stella,
Stella. Yep.
which was 90,
Wasn't that a Touchstone film?
probably. Of course it was. Um,
Oh, here we go.
yep.
Jake Busey looking creepy. Now, he was a serial killer in the past and went on death row.
Yeah.
This is, I guess telling the backstory of all this. Now, he's tied to present day D. Wallace past some young girl.
Dude, she was in a show I watched a couple years ago. I have no memory of her being in it.
Oh, last I saw her, she was on a Law and Order, but that was years ago.
She was in The Staircase, which either was HBO or something trying to be HBO.
FX, probably.
I can't remember if it was actually Hulu.
Mm.
I feel like it might have been like Prime or something, maybe even Netflix. I don't remember. Doesn't matter. I don't remember what she was doing. She was probably like a lawyer or something. But yeah, Dobson is our Biff. He's actually going to be around in more of the movie than I remember.
Mm. Yeah, he's another one that never quite
God, I love how
kept
like
playing these characters.
yeah. Um, be interesting to look at when the last like super shitty husband is in like something like this as a plot point, right? Like,
Hmm. Elfman did the music for this,
Yeah.
didn't
You got Elfman, you got Rick Baker. I don't know. We'll have to check the credits. I don't know who did, I don't know if Weta was already doing CGI, but this is also an interesting one that 96 we still hadn't done like a well shit. No, wasn't this the same year as Dragonheart actually?
he? Yeah, but summer of '96 was kind of dominated by Independence Day. That was the big one.
Yeah, this came out in July, so it might not have had much luck. Dragonheart, I feel like they dumped that
Yeah,
in
that seemed like a
spring, May.
spring.
So, yeah, Dragonheart is God damn, it's only 100. It's shorter than this. Seems a lot longer. Um, Dragonheart sort of proved that we weren't ready yet with CGI characters better than anybody else had done until I don't know. You'd have Lost World in 97. So you'd have some high class CGI in that. But Independence Day and I think Fifth Element, which was early 97,
Mm,
they both sort of used CGI. This was that period where we weren't doing all CGI sets yet, right? We were still using CGI to add a little oomph to something. There's a great documentary about the making of Independence Day where they show them blowing up the physical models and shit, right?
hmm.
Like that was, I think, probably the last time that they did
Yeah, they
that.
used stuff like that. Yeah.
But and it
Till
was
City Destruction was just CGI.
yeah. And CGI was really just about adding a little um, paint to it.
Well, then
So
it was the summer afterward because remember, uh, the guys who did Independence Day, they fucking rushed Godzilla
they rushed Godzilla with
summer of '97.
was that 97 or 98? That was
Might have
98.
been '98.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Because '97 was Men in Black.
Yeah.
That's right.
And Men in Black probably started, but Rick Baker also did special effects for that. So,
Mm-hmm.
like, we were not there yet with just CGI replacing everything.
Well, that
Um,
Rick Baker had a fucking run
I mean, yeah, I mean,
starting from like what's it called, Clumps, and then all the way through this and everything else he did around that time. He was working hard.
oh, yeah.
Okay, so Michael J. Fox has scammed his way into the house in order to rid them of spirits, but he sees something carved in Homie's forehead, and nobody else can see it. What does this mean? And Dobson's being a jerk. His wife is being pretty sympathetic because, well, she's obviously a believer. Still, though, this if people wanted a reasonable follow up to Ghostbusters, You couldn't do worse than this.
Now, this is it's very so here we have a combination of makeup and CGI, and most of the
Mm-hmm.
CGI is composites. Like, we're not, we've already got the sort of ectoplasm thing, like
Mm-hmm.
the haze. Here we go, Chai McBride.
Yes.
Now, what was he on at this time? Was he still on John
High school show?
Larroquette? This was
Oh no,
before that, I think.
that one, yeah. He
So,
might have been on Lurkit. He was coming
yeah,
up.
he was. He ended up on some cop show as the captain, right? Like, he must have.
I think.
Um, but this was also just before Fox, Michael J. Fox, not 20th Century Fox. Fox went back to TV for Spin
Yeah.
City as a regular. So he'd done a supporting turn in American President, which was kind of like his comeback. Like, it was like, oh yeah. But again,
Yeah.
like we talked about with Eddie, he
Mm-hmm.
only been gone for like 2 years at the outside, a year and a half, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Right. So it wasn't, people were still watching shit that
yeah,
he had recently put out.
like there's very few people who, in hindsight, lost, like, fizzled and never, like, and disappeared in some ways. Like,
Yeah, it's very few. Uh, so here's a Michael J. Fox we haven't seen. He's likable, but he's got kind of an edge to him.
down on his luck.
Yeah, he's not on the verge.
No, good point. Yes, this is a post yuppie Michael J. Fox.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there we go. Here.
How old is he in this?
Oh yeah, I could totally see a
35.
Beetlejuice type cartoon made out of this.
You could do a cartoon. You could, I mean, in the sequels, you can have other ghosts hanging out
Mm-hmm.
with him, like other guest stars. There's just, but here we've got, this is a really nice composite. And what we're doing here is erasing.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's even more, or I don't know if it's more or less complicated, but this is also pre, 3D modeling everything, right? Like, they went in and erased his belly or set up a mask or whatever to do that. They did not like 3D model it and lay him out on that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
these days, we have a crossover between like video games and CGI. But
Mm-hmm.
CGI was not in the video games at this point. 96, those weren't transferable skills yet.
Nah. All right, so we're back into their scam here. See, Michael J. Fox works with these ghosts that only he could see, so he can make ends meet, and they falsely haunt places so he could come in and investigate.
I think we could also say that this didn't really have a chance to become much of a video hit when you think about it, because 96 it was on the
Well, I had always said that the thing that saved the Frighteners ultimately was the bootleg of the director's cut because it was really big at like the convention circuit.
where did that oh right, but that's because that came from the laser disc. That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
Yeah.
So Dracula reference there, Universal Pictures. Not reference, just a picture from Dracula.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about this before. We talked about it on the Tremors episode, but just Universal was very into laser discs in the 90s. Frighteners had a director's cut on Laserdisc, but it came sort of at the end of, or
Yeah.
maybe not the end of Laserdisc, but like
It
within
was
the,
winding down.
yeah, it was in the last 2 years of Laserdisc, but it was also in like the first 3 years of
DVD.
DVD. And it took them 10 years to drop this with the director's cut on DVD.
Yeah,
And
it took a
like,
long time
took a long ass time,
for
and
it to be
all that
official.
time in between it, you were either buying the laser disc for, God, I think it went for 350 or something, or you
Yeah.
were getting a bootleg of it for like 30 at a con. So she's me. Got some nice art deco-y buildings, but we don't actually spend a lot of time in the town.
No,
Like, it is incredible how much New Zealand just looks like.
it is a nice little coastal town, though.
It is. I like the hill stuff going on.
Mhm.
Okay, so wait, why is she going to a funeral? What's going on here? Uh,
Wait a minute.
here we go. But he's got corporal. There's like a corporal thing here where he can be touched by the ghost to some degree.
Yeah. Or if they
Honestly,
concentrate enough.
that alley is telling me we're actually not in Kansas. Look at that fucking weird ass alley there.
Yeah.
What are you fitting through that? You're not fitting a fucking delivery truck through that. Come on.
And you can't really feel bad for this guy because he's an asshole till the end.
Yeah. So also 96, this is Peter Jackson. So I'm trying to think who's made a movie like this since. the 80s that somebody has really that has caught on.
No, it everything was clout chase. Everything like this was on sort of a clout chase of Ghostbusters. Remember Zemeckis' next one, wasn't it Death Becomes Her, or was that before
That
this?
was before this. That was
That was before this?
92. Yeah.
Oh, damn. Shit. Oh, there we go.
Zemeckis really carried water for CGI in a way that Spielberg acted too, I don't know if he acted too good for it, but he acted like it was not his, like, not his fight. Like, he did not need to make sure that CGI was going to make it, whereas Zemeckis used CGI in a bunch of shit. But
Hmm.
then it's not so Spielberg, the reason for that is because he made Jurassic Park. Jurassic Park totally fucking changed movies or whatever. Then he made Schindler's List and decided he didn't want to make movies like Jurassic Park anymore. And he wanted to do his own studio thing. And so
Hmm.
that like took up all that air. But Zemeckis at the same time, like there were endless stories about all the CGI you can't see in Forrest Gump and stuff. Like it was really building like to the point that and I guess we I don't know if we talked about it in the executive decision episode, but maybe just that, which is also from around this, it's also 96, right? Yeah.
Hmm.
This end of the action movie era and really with Harry Potter and
Yeah, a lot of those franchises were kind of taking up shit. You had Harry Potter and Fast and Furious and
Star Wars came back.
Star Wars came back. Uh, well, Hunger Games was a little later, but
Hunger Games was later, but like with Harry Potter, like they basically established that like people didn't give a shit about CGI looking good.
and also we
Like,
had what's it called? It like that sort of wave of scream horror films,
yep.
which were the that was the comedy of it was the self reference and all that shit.
Yeah, and Scream was 96 too, right? The first one.
Yep.
So that's
Troy
Troy
Evans.
Evans. Yep. Very nice Troy Evans. Sort of in the most Troy Evans ever.
Hmm.
Um, but the Scream audience trended. I mean,
Well, they
we were like,
Scream kind of snowballed into that other another genre too. Like they were horror movies, but they were that WB wave of horror films
yeah,
where kids from those shows were in all of those movies. Or the actors, I'm sorry, kids.
yeah.
30-year-old, 16-year-old.
I know what you did last summer, and the Final
Yeah.
Destination franchise started, if or continued around some of that. But those would be
Yeah, those
the
kind of eliminated this kind of stuff.
yeah, but I mean that's presumably would have been some of the demographic,
Hmm.
like because it would have been people who grew up on Back to the Future.
Yep. her character doesn't really come to life until later on.
Yeah.
I noticed that every time I watch this, that she's just kind of flittering around, and then especially around well, when Jeffrey Combs comes in.
I mean, if Jeffrey Combs did this in every movie, he'd be a lot more famous.
He would be Bruce
Like,
Campbell.
yeah.
Did they ever cross paths in a movie? They had to.
Okay, Combs is. Hmm.
All right, and the ghosts have this really weird looking, sort of, decayed look.
Yeah, even though
Even though he's freshly dead, he's
the ectoplasm. So it's like very, like, not scary or not gross in the same way Beetlejuice. Like, it's a very smart, like, mix of these things. Like, I still do not understand why this is not a hit. Like, I just don't
yeah,
get it.
because really it got overshadowed.
I mean, it got overshadowed, but it never got discovered. Like, and so I was talking about that a little bit earlier. Like, it was coming at the end of these weird, it was coming at this sort of home video changeover, but also this is shot way too fucking wide to have a nice,
Oh God, I've seen it on
yeah, pan and scan.
Fox. It had the premiere on Fox TV. It was like,
Yeah.
like that
Okay.
shot. You might get half of somebody's face in a shot.
Because this is really fucking
Yeah, it's
wide,
really using up that
actually. Yeah.
that space.
This might be 2-4. Okay, so from Reddit from 7 years ago, are there any movies with Bruce Campbell and Jeffrey Combs? No.
Damn.
Whatever happened to Bruce Campbell's Expendables of Horror? Well, I guess that didn't happen. Okay.
What, another excuse for Kane Hodder to show up for something? So who would that be? That would be what? Bruce, Jeffrey Combs, Robert Englund, Kane, uh, the girl from Sleepaway Camp. Damn.
But yeah, I mean, this, like, Sixth Sense also led to, I don't know, it just was weirdly early. It just did not.
Oh, The Sixth Sense. See, this was also thinking what before Blair Witch. See, horror took a crazy turn after this.
Yeah.
You had ghost movies, but they were ghosts in a haunted house, ghosts on a ship. You know,
Okay, so we are 38 minutes in.
nobody knew how to categorize this, but Shit. I mean, it's pretty obvious.
Well, because we're also getting to see Michael J. Fox do a very like we talked in some of the other episodes just about how he can carry a scene on his own, things like that, and just sort of like how he can play for the camera because of
Hmm.
TV. But here we're actually getting to see in this wonderful like special effects extravaganza. He would do something similar but not exactly the same in isn't he in Mars Attacks?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's like special guest star Michael J.
Yeah.
Fox.
He's one of the advisors or something. Okay, so you'll note that the mirror water effect was not great. That's because ain't
Well,
easy.
this is the same year as the same year as The Craft, right?
Mhm. Yeah, which also was not a hit. So like
Oh, wasn't a hit, but it wasn't horrible though.
it took a while to get discovered though. There we
Yeah.
have the light tunnel from
Sliders.
oh, I was gonna say Monster Squad. Um,
Uh-oh.
yep. Now we're gonna do a full ass chase sequence. Like this movie's wild. They need this is a hot take though. I don't know that Elfman's the right music for it.
Well, it makes it sound very, Burton
Yeah,
like.
it makes me feel like where's Tim Burton's
Oh,
name on this?
look who
There's
that is.
Melanie Lansky.
And there's
Let's
also
see.
an Easter egg since the Trini's character, her last name is Linsky.
Yep.
I think the story was Melanie was supposed to play her part, but she's too
Too
damn
young.
young.
Yeah.
Whoa. Mm. All right, his car, the brakes are shitty. Or yeah, that's very much Spawn effects.
Yeah. A year before Spawn. Let's not.
Oh,
Here we go.
yeah. That was a while, man.
So
Yeah.
Jeffrey Combs was at this point, like Reanimator's 86, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Jeffrey Combs was in a lot of low budget, maybe
Yeah.
lower budget, but
A lot
not
of
studio horror movies, not big seven. Like
mm-mm.
they'd still get theatrical releases because it was the 80s, but it was like there were lots of them were based on Lovecraft stuff.
Yeah.
And sometimes those things would cross over in some way, but more often than not, they would not. And they would just be some like curiosity, not a cult movie, but just like
No.
a
They were
very
big cable films.
big cable movies. Like they were big with a certain
Yeah,
demographic.
the gore hounds.
Yeah.
There was a big underground thing where most of them knew about shit like Reanimator, From Beyond, anything with Jeffrey Combs and who else? Barbara Crampton.
Barbara Crampton. Is it just Fangoria? They weren't
Yeah,
as gory as like all of
well, there were
that, but some of them
Fangoria,
were.
Gore Zone, right?
Yeah.
They were for the crowd that thumbed their nose at, Friday the 13th, but yet they're fans of Hatchet now. So, see, he does this on Justice League Unlimited when he plays the Question.
Hmm.
It works so good. Oh, he's telling the backstory.
Yep.
Michael J. Fox was a douche with a bad haircut. He wanted a basketball court in their backyard, but she wanted a flower garden. His wife. See, this is very Tim Burton.
Yeah. Well, it's very Tim Burton, except that Burton would never.
Burton wouldn't play it this straight because it is, you know, it's got goofiness to it, but it's kind of hard to. This is also after Sonnenfeld did both Adams Family movies.
That's true. It is. It is after Adam's Family.
It's right before Men in Black.
Men in Black. And I mean, Men in Black is fairly, it's a little bit more comedic, but like the first one, though I haven't seen it in way too long, like it's sort of responsible. It's like on the vibe of Men in Black is part of what got built into the MCU as early as they could, just in terms of like you want to keep the
World building.
tone. Yeah.
Yeah, because you couldn't. Right, because you couldn't have the first Men in Black be the way it was, and then a second one would have been played straight.
Right.
Like the cartoon was more serious than the movies in a certain way, which came out back to back with Extreme Ghostbusters.
All right. So, according to John Aston, this is some big time ghost killer
Mm,
or killer ghost who's also potentially a ghost killer, adding some stakes to.
right, the Reaper Ghost.
Yeah. Does the theatrical cut have the mummy scene? Because
No, because this is it's a sequence. There's a whole sequence going, I think, after this
Okay.
because they need the mummy. I think because yeah, I'm so used to watching the director's cut. It I forget what's kept in it and
The
what's
direct,
added.
yeah, Jackson called it the director's fun cut.
Uh,
That it didn't necessarily need what he was adding, but he liked it, so he did. Which, of course, raises some questions about his style of director's cuts then. Okay, there's Spawn. Yep.
All right. But the judge came in and he's running interference with ghost bullets. Yeah, see? Where's Casper's uncles? Oh, wow.
Okay, so yes, it is in this version.
Yeah, because ah, and they're really stretching the PG-13. Or was this R?
This was R.
Okay, yeah, there's another reason then. This didn't.
Yeah, I feel like not having to mess around with the ratings must have been nice for them. Like, though I wonder what's going to make it like a hard R or a soft R, even.
Yeah, the cussing's not bad.
Yeah.
I think it was that, though. The judge humping the.
We do we
Because
have
it's a corpse.
yeah, do we have any significant blood later? We'll have to see. All right, so down goes the judge.
Yeah. Oh. Uh, oh.
Has he basically been at it since the restaurant? We
He
haven't
ran
seen
out of the restaurant.
Trini since the
No,
restaurant.
yeah,
Yeah.
she went to the police station. So
Yeah.
right, he left the restaurant, and then they were chasing the Reaper, and then
Yeah.
they sat somewhere for a minute, and then they saw the.
Okay. I feel like these ghosts' ability to touch things and be touched, it seems like, are they the only two who are good at it? But no, because the judge's bullets, the judge can also have effect. So it's almost like not, it just seems like these are ghosts who could have more fun in general than lots of other movie ghosts.
Eh,
I mean, they can cause more trouble. They can get up to hijinks.
the thing is, they're not much different than the ones in Casper.
No, see.
They just look more human. Like,
Okay. So what we've been talking over is he sees these
Yeah, the numbers.
numbers in people's foreheads. We find out that his wife started with number 13. And then what we basically discover is that it's this victims of this demon, but now he's managed to leave his prints. Wait, what? Um, but we will still find out. We still have some other stuff to figure out.
Yeah, because it all connects in some way to two characters we've already seen so far. Uh-uh. Hmm. Yeah, and once again, this was a sort of different angle for Michael J. Fox.
Yeah,
It was similar, but he was, it's definitely Ghostbuster territory. Look at,
yeah.
she's in this more than I thought she was. I thought it was just the one little. There's Mr. Incredible.
Look at that guy. Yeah,
Or he could be young, what's his face from Stranger Things. Hmm.
yeah. Now we're just gonna have the movie, right? Yeah, like
Well, here, yeah, this is kind of second act slump where it all sort of revs up.
yep.
This here movie has, the typical what would become the Peter Jackson multiple finale sort of ending. It's just when you think the shit should be over, it hits you with like another 15, 20 some minute sequence.
Yeah, we're not gonna have a lot of sitting around talking.
No, soon as all this is, there's a lot of running around.
Yeah, because Frank's got to get up to the haunted sanitarium and shit. Like,
Yeah.
so now we have like ESP shit, a la the beginning of Ghostbusters.
Mm,
Well, yeah, because Combs comes back too, right?
yeah, the whole sanitarium sequence is just you just I love it. I love this movie, but the ending is almost just endless. There's a certain point where you just want the movie to just finish instead of end.
Right.
Yeah, we don't never get this from Michael J. Fox, except maybe Casualties of War, but nobody remembers that.
No.
Everybody's thinking we can do anything.
But yeah, so I mean, Combs is not, this isn't like, this is tier one Combs. Combs does not usually bring this level. Like,
No, yeah, because this being one of his mainstream movies, he was really trying to break out. I think with this, just like Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell, I don't think it really hit yet, right? Or Army of Darkness had been out,
yeah.
but he had
Um,
still kind of ascended for a bit, and then started.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, he sort of reached a point where being Bruce Campbell was famous enough
Hmm.
type deal, but that was not like he was desperate to,
Yeah, he was definitely trying to cross over for a minute. Even if you have to cameo in movies like Congo.
right? That was sort of when he was like the most trying, was when he was in Congo, I would say. Um, I also forget that they wanted him to be the lead in that crime wave movie, and instead they went with whoever they went with. And he
Oh
was in the
damn.
supporting cast. Yeah. It always bugged me that they didn't have him as Darkman on the video series. Like,
Mm.
why wouldn't you?
Yeah, since he walked away with his face.
Yeah. Okay, so there's Dobson. He's breaking down pretty fast now.
Yeah. We're finally giving Trini something to do. Oh,
Yeah. To hell with his basketball hoop.
he's
Meanwhile,
rebuilding the
Dobson
truck.
looks worse. Like,
Yeah.
but I mean,
I keep
like, perfectly good basketball court.
Michael J. Fox keeps rebuilding the truck, but his wife won't come back. Okay.
Yeah, because she's. Oh, he gets killed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He gets like a slight redemption, all things considered.
Well, he tries, I think.
Well, I mean, compared to what he's been doing now
mm,
for until this point.
God. They didn't even try to make that shit look real. It's all sideways.
I mean, like I said, nobody knows what D. Wallace looks like without a wig anyway. So we're going to start getting some clues, but also Trini's going to fall for D. Wallace's story
All right.
that she's got a
The evil moms.
evil mom who just doesn't believe that the daughter's not evil according to the daughter, but not like the doctor. Um, so yeah, this is basically like a Bonnie and Clyde. No, it's not Bonnie and Clyde. It's Starkweather. He kidnaps the young girl, takes her
Mm.
shooting. But um, Heavenly Creatures is about killer teenage girls.
Oh,
So like it's all sort of like I don't know, sort of in Peter Jackson's wheelhouse to this point without exactly being there. I think Dead Alive's a period piece too. I think it's set in the 50s or something.
damn. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, I've only
I'm
seen
kicking out for the Lord
1956.
now.
Okay, the dogs. What the fuck? Why does
Right.
she have Frank Bannister's thing here? Also, why did they change the blade so it's not covered in blood? So we don't get a very good blow up there. We just get mom coming in and getting her down there. Here we're getting some of our Disney Channel CGI though, with the
Oh, that's right. Here it comes.
yep. Oh damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Say goodbye to Peter Dobson, who's late ass just got in there.
Coming at you. Woo. Oh,
Now, is he still on the car hood, I wonder? Or how does that work? All right.
right. All right. He's just spent. He don't got no plan, no nothing.
Nope, he's given up.
The fact that
So
he feels he might actually be crazy.
yeah, we also are having this weird thing where she's talking to him about events that she found out about from Jeffrey Combs that he's not necessarily, because by the end of the movie, are they love interests by the end of
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And we've only got like 30 minutes left of real. Yeah, we've got 41 minutes left. So there's not a lot left
Their
in
whole
terms
thing was
of,
their whole thing was the tease for the possible sequel.
yeah. Because this is, and we've talked about it on the show before, the couple, ghost busting couple thing. Like, just in terms of like the romancing the stone idea of you have a couple doing, oh, yeah, making eyes
And
here.
and for the inevitable direct to video part 4, they're both played by Craig Sheffer and Mia Sara. Same characters.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. God, who would be the ghosts? That's
Well, one
kind
of
of
them would have to be Lachlan Monroe.
that'd be amazing, actually. Not a legit sequel, like fourquel, but instead it gets taken to direct to video.
Right, direct to video.
Yep. I
It's either
mean,
them playing the same characters or it's his brother, so that they don't have to replace Michael J. Fox completely.
it's actually a surprise they didn't do that.
Holy shit! It's Universal
Yeah, it's Universal.
who did
Yep.
all the Beethoven sequels.
Darkman,
Fucking
Beethoven,
Darkman,
Problem
Kindergarten
Child,
Cop.
Kindergarten Cop. They actually waited the longest on. Jim Fife.
Oh damn, yeah, that's right. That's when they both buy it, I think.
Yep. The British show Ghosts has not is not similar in terms of tone or anything, but does have a protagonist who's the only one who can see the ghosts. Very funny show. I've not watched the American one, but the British one is delightful.
Oh, that's right.
Never
They do have what, two of them going?
the British one's done, but
Mm.
never does spoilers for the British version. Never does a ghost killing ghost show up to
Oh,
take everything out. Nice little chase sequence here. See, just like a movie from Peter Jackson, right? Like, but I mean, that's kind of the thing with most of these guys now. They don't
mm.
want to do a movie. They want to fucking sit around and watch CGI.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Like I watched shit. I didn't tell you. I watched the Hobbit movies finally the other day, and that Battle of the Five Armies, all of the army scenes, anything with a war going on, and that's all you see. CGI people like mushed into each other and them jumping on shit that's CGI.
I watched the first one and I couldn't, like, I was gonna try to do all three, but I think, did you do the extended ones?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you got more fortitude than I did. I was
Yeah,
like,
I
I
went all
can't.
out.
Yeah, because I
I'm gonna
still haven't
try.
seen Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I'm gonna try those next. But I do remember what was it? I remember seeing the first one or Fellowship
Mhm.
in the theater. That was actually when I first came back from Texas to visit out here. I saw it in the theater, fell asleep,
I remember he fell asleep. Yep.
woke up, and they were getting chased, but only what uh Liv Tyler was with them. That's all I remember.
Okay, so they are gonna kill Michael J. Fox. He's
All
got
right,
to,
yeah.
yeah.
He wants to death himself because that's the only way he figures he could get to getting rid of the Reaper creature.
I like how in all these movies, when some characters got like a fucking out of the blue has a machine gun, and it seems silly, but then you're like, actually, it's
You
like the
know?
most realistic part, it turns out. All right. So some of this must have been in the trailer.
Mm,
I don't remember how well they had.
you know what it is? I think I remember in the trailer the effects weren't done. So some of
Oh,
the
okay.
shit with Michael J. Fox flying around made it look like he was actually flying around or some shit. Because he didn't have, the ghost effects.
Right.
Like, yeah, like this shit right here.
I love this shot. Like, it's just, I just want more of this. Like, just want
You
more of
know,
this Peter Jackson.
they even could have released this under the Tales from the Crypt label.
Uh-huh. Like, well, there's this, what's that show called? Wellington PD or something? It's
Hmm.
like a New Zealand sitcom. It's like cops, but everything's haunted or something. We watched some of them. It's pretty funny, but like,
All right. Yeah.
yep. I thought this was at the mansion though. Ah,
Mm.
Good thing it's
No,
1996 and she's got a quarter.
this is very not just Burton, but it's like Burton clash with Raimi, especially with a lot of the camera choices,
Yeah.
a lot of zoom ins and close ups and shit. Uh, now, how many years would it have been for Jeffrey Combs' character to have been played by Jim Carrey?
uh,
Because at this point, Carrey was like huge.
yeah. I don't think, God, it would have been, Carrie wouldn't have done this except as a, oh God, one was number 23.
Oh yeah, that was what 2000 something.
Yeah. Because there would have been no reason to do it when he was like, he wouldn't have done this type of thing had he been on his way up. Like, this is not
No, he wouldn't have done
Jim
this
Carrey's follow up to Once
because
Bitten.
when he was, yeah. Thing is, I mean, he was on the come up right when he was on A Living Color.
Yeah.
You know, they had him leading movies at that point.
All right. I would have kept those, Michael J. Fox. Speaking of Sam Raimi,
Yeah, it looks like the Necronomicon
fuck you, Book of the Dead.
clap. Uh, yeah. Oh, it's Return of the Living Dead.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, damn. All the victims. I was number 12.
Wait a second.
Mm.
All right, so we got the mystery of Frank's dead wife building. We've also got like it's okay, it can be shitty, it's ghosts. They're in hyper time, it's fine. That's why it looks like Lawnmower Man. Um,
Oh,
forgot about Lawnmower Man. Also, The Haunting. Like,
any of those. Yeah,
yeah.
anything with ghosts at that time.
Why
Oh,
can't he use it? Oh shit, that's right.
uh, she brought him back.
At just the wrong time.
Uh,
Yeah, the sort of Raimi meets. It's like Raimi. By the time Raimi had t- um, Danny Elfman doing his music, he didn't have this like. Raimi never had this vibe for his mainstream stuff, really. Like he did for Darkman, He did for
Yeah,
Army of
Darkman was
Darkness, but then he gave it
definitely.
up. Well, no, Quick and the
Well,
Dead
he
has.
brought some of this. He brought a lot of that back for Spider-Man because a lot of the Spider-Mans had those weird moments, you know.
Yeah, but not his serious movies. He didn't do it in Simple Plan.
No,
He didn't do it in The
no, definitely
Gift.
not.
You know, it was a very weird. Okay, here we go. Now we actually are getting to the big mansion sequence we were talking about earlier. So we've got 26 minutes to go. I don't think we're going to leave the mansion until for quite a while. Hmm.
Okay, and this is where we sort of, we're beefing her up a little bit.
Is he in the car?
I think so, because
He's still recovering or
yeah, he still has to
something?
recover a bit. Oh my god! Mm. Oh, that's right. She's still
Yeah,
dressed exactly like.
yeah.
Mm. Mm. Yeah, I think a lot of people they turned away from this because it wasn't Tim Burton. You know.
I mean, Tim Burton, this was during his great people ignoring him too.
Hmm.
Like Mars Attacks. Fucking love
Oh,
that
that's
movie.
right.
It was not a hit at all. Was it the first thing he did after Ed Wood? But it's
Yeah.
just like I feel like maybe it's different music instead of just, you know, the Elfman. It's the other one that's really got that Extreme Measures is basically like Danny Elfman's Batman Forever score. It's fucking hilarious.
You haven't seen that in a while.
So yeah, like this was before Sleepy Hollow, which came after a 3 year pause. It was before Planet of the Apes, etc. Like it was very. This was when Elf or Burton would have been working on Superman
Oh, right.
Lives and shit. Like it was a very strange period, and it's weird that I don't know. Maybe they should have had Tim Burton executive produce this too, just for the name.
Ah, God. Ugh. Definitely looks like Lawnmower Man.
I keep expecting to see the face.
uh,
Just like Freddy.
right. They should have had an Amanda Kruger ghost nun. Okay, so it wasn't that far away. I always thought they drove there to it.
Director's cut, maybe. I'm really curious now what's in that
Well,
isn't in
there's
this.
I know there's the one scene, the shower scene. That's the only thing I can remember.
It is 2025, and we could just go look at movie-censorship.org or .com, and they could just show us the whole thing. Okay, so I didn't go 88 miles an hour. What the hell's going on?
It's not 1985. It's supposed to be the wrong year. Oh, wait a minute. Ghost nuns. Damn it. Hey, you. Creepy guy. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. Uh,
So Busey was in wasn't he in Starship Troopers?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This was like his big attempt at
Well, he was sort of miming his father's career a little.
he ended up on YE50, right?
Did he?
Didn't he?
No, that's Scott Kahn on there, I think.
Oh, okay, yeah.
They both ended up in what, a year after this? Enemy of the State? No, wait, that's 98, right?
Yeah, that's 98.
They were two of the bunch of like cameo type bits in that movie.
Um, yeah. Neither of wait, who was the lead in Battlefield Earth?
Barry Pepper.
Barry Pepper. Okay. That's right.
Yeah. Barry
Scott.
Pepper,
Yeah.
Travolta, and
Boris Whitaker.
worst motherfucking whipped.
And here we have Jeffrey Combs in the fucking
Yeah, he's in the
finale.
asylum. There's just so much going on now. But I do like the resolve.
It's just
Oh,
it is it is kind of like it just in terms of like what audience it's gonna find, it it might be like a little bit too early for finding an audience in some ways.
Well, the circle of it all just it horror went through some weird stuff. Like, does anybody still like those torture porn movies anymore? Like, do people still like Saw
Don't they,
and
didn't they?
Hostel?
I don't. I don't feel like Hostel, but didn't they just bring Saw back?
I think they tried and they said it was made the least money of
Hmm.
any of the movies. I could be wrong, but I know they did have one recently, though. That's not okay. That's young D Wallace, but is that like a singer or something? She looks familiar. Keep thinking that's Fiona Apple, but it can't be.
Um, that would have been a bigger deal.
Yeah.
Um,
Mm.
but just like for like horror comedy, like the most crossover you ever had was Ghostbusters. Like,
Yeah. A big thing though that kept everybody from this was it ain't PG-13.
yeah. But Jackson was like known as a
Mm-hmm. Gore guy.
gore guy, so he couldn't. So doing it would have just been weird. Oh yeah, go.
I don't even know how that. So he was just in the next hallway, or
Yep.
but the way the thing. Uh, oh, ooh, oh, I did like that though.
Yeah. Good
The
thing you
goat's
landed
hair.
on a cot. Yeah.
God, how many bullets do you have in that thing? That dress doesn't have any
Infinity.
pockets. Oh, mm,
Mm.
oh, here we go. Oh, yeah, they wouldn't even stunt cast the wife.
Nah.
Oh shit! Look who done it. Oh. Yeah.
There you go.
Hmm.
Finally ran out of bullets.
Oh.
Why isn't Jake Busey just killing Trini though?
Well, it's a. Oh wait, it's a their ritual, I guess. So they could kill them both. Yeah. Oh, see, yeah. He's getting off on watching her do it. Uh-oh. See, now the movie is playing by its own rules and shit.
Yeah, like how did any of that? Well, also like considering our build up to this was that we didn't see Michael J. Fox ghost out, which implied he was still alive. Okay.
Right.
How does he get out of this? All right,
Oh,
so
because it's not his time or
okay.
whatever.
Oh, do we get a full thing of that? Okay. There were
Uh,
there were a not there were like five movies around this time that had major afterlife
hmm.
things. Like this isn't that far from the Robin Williams one. It's not that far from
Oh,
what's that other one?
I hated that one. Ugh.
Life Less Ordinary. Like for
That's the one.
some reason everybody decided to do heaven scenes in the mid
uh,
90s.
That's the one. Heaven is a painting or some stupid shit.
Yeah.
Uh, Everybody looks clean and cool.
Hmm.
Uh-oh. He's having his Captain Kirk moment.
Yeah.
That'll be three other Michael J. Foxes walking out. Hey, it's
Is that
somebody who looks nothing like the actress that was.
right?
It probably is, but
Yeah.
because the hair is different, probably. Yeah.
Okay.
What's your
So he's got
husband?
permission.
Yeah, go skip off with another woman. Wait till they both die.
Be funny if you can't see dead people anymore.
That would be something. But you need the, you know, Mr. Bannister, you think you're the only person who can see dead people?
We actually don't talk about whether or not he can still see dead people.
No, they. Here we go.
Okay. That's
A
right
little
in the
back.
back seat. Yeah.
Yeah,
Comes.
I'm doing a little back and forth with Troy Evans here. And then I think he swears he's gone straight, but uh, 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 what?
And then we have to get a
Oh, really bad. Don't
yeah.
fear the Reaper cover.
Okay. No shade to trainee. Melanie Lansky, deputies.
Mm-hmm.
Linsky. Elizabeth Shue.
Huh.
What if you'd done Elizabeth Shue in the lead? And we finally got the two of them having an adventure.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that too. Because Elizabeth Shue would have brought a little more earnestness to it.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. It would have worked.
Would have had more franchise potential, perhaps. But
Yeah.
even with, I still would have been there for Frighteners too.
Yeah. Regardless.
Back again. Two Frighteners, too furious, whatever it would have been.
Well, right. You're right. Then down the line, they have the kid. The kid can see dead people.
Yep.
Ugh. This is terrible.
Bet it's going to be the Goo Goo Dolls.
Ugh.
Ah,
They don't play the whole thing, do they? Oh, wait. Second unit. Okay.
oh, we didn't check how long the credits are. The credits are 3.5 minutes, maybe. So not too bad.
No.
Okay.
Weta.
What a was around. And that would sort of be the thing is that until this point, Industrial Light and Magic really was like, no, we're the only ones who can figure out how to do this. But then you'd have Weta, you'd have what was it, Sony Imageworks or whatever it was
Yeah.
called.
Because they were made up of those guys that were doing shit. You know, the guys that did shit on like Poltergeist. And,
Yeah. Well, also Oh, the song's not done yet.
Nope.
When you think about something like Spawn, those were ILM guys. Spawn looks like shit. So
Yeah,
like, don't.
even for back then.
Mhm.
I mean, we tried to be apologists about it coming out the theater. The cape looked good.
The cape looked good.
It was bullshit. All it was. Oh my god! Fucking
Mhm.
the hell sequences. It just,
Mhm.
this shit was.
The Mutton Birds. There's some
Oh, some nobody group.
Australian cover band.
Ugh.
Okay. Filmed all over New Zealand, it looks like.
Yeah. So none of it was on the lot, even though it kind of looked.
Camperdown Studios. So there was some studio work somewhere.
Mm,
Well, that's
96.
that's the Frighteners. Wrapping up our
Wingnut.
Michael J. Fox season there. We are not quite to the summer yet, so we'll probably not be back with the we got some nice sequels lined up for the summer.
Oh shit!
Hey, look at that.
Universal Studios tag. Oh
Yeah, that's actually a
damn.
surprise, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, so we'll figure out we'll be back with something. We got some ideas, but we haven't finalized.
Yeah.
All right. But yeah, The Frighteners, if you haven't seen it, go check it out. Check out the director's cut too. I mean, I
Right.
would
'Cause-
just get yourself a little Frighteners DVD or whatever it would be.
yeah, because
You're
now
not
it's
going to go wrong with that.
more widely available. Ooh, it's 2 hours and 2 minutes to the regular versions,
Yeah,
1 hour and 50.
it's a significant chunk.
So yeah, there's more shit.
Mm.
Yeah, get on that if you guys
Yeah,
would like. It was a very good film. Again, Michael J. Fox. You can't go completely wrong with him unless it's a hard
casualties of
drama.
casualties of war.
Yeah. So you hit Casualties of
Greedy,
War
greedy, greedy.
or the rock and roll one. Uh, uh, what was it? Light of Day.
Yeah.
God. Ugh. But yeah. So that'll wrap up our MJF Michael J. Fox season, and we'll probably, you know, pop up again
Someday,
eventually.
yeah.
Yeah, we're not in a hurry to do Back to the Future. So
Nah. We
I mean,
can,
everybody else has done it.
yeah. And
What more could we say?
I compare it Back to the Future in terms of like we tried Ghostbusters, that was not a thing. Like,
No. Matter of fact, it looks like more people watch Ghostbusters 2 than
which
Ghost,
is,
or is it the other way around? Either way, one
yeah.
of them got way more views than the other, which is
So,
shocking because now Teen Wolf 2 has more views than Teen Wolf. So you guys are out there, y'all are watching something.
okay then. I'm not really sure how that's possible, but well,
Mm-hmm.
no, isn't Bateman's father still alive? Is the Bateman
Could
father
be.
who managed him still alive, sitting around watching, getting pissed off at our Teen Wolf 2 commentary?
It could be.
There you go.
It's a possibility.
Well,
Hmm.
we'll be back, folks.
We'll
Um,
be back with something special, something, something good.
yep,
Um, you'll have to forgive me. I'm still in recovery mode. This is the
we're
weekend
rec-
of April 20th. So,
we're recording on a holiday, as they say.
yeah.
All
So
right. Yeah.
I'll be sure to bring the orange juice next time. Ah. All right, kids. Good night. Get out of here.